Welcome to the War Science Channel. The moment nuclear weapons were created, humanity invented a way to end itself in minutes. What's terrifying isn't just the bombs that were dropped. It's the many times they almost were. Tonight, we're walking through every nuclear altercation the world has ever faced. From Hiroshima to moments where one man, one radar blip, or one bad decision nearly triggered global annihilation. And the scariest part? Most of these moments were hidden from the public for decades. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, August 1945. The United States drops atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Over 200,000 people die, many instantly, others slowly from radiation. This wasn't a warning. This was proof of concept. The world now knew what nuclear war looked like. But the next nuclear crisis wouldn't involve bombs falling. It would involve fingers hovering over buttons. The Berlin blockade and airlift, 1948. The Soviet Union blocks all land access to West Berlin. The U.S. quietly moves nuclear-capable bombers into Europe. No nukes are launched, but both sides are signaling, "We're willing." This becomes the first nuclear standoff, not strike. And soon, the standoffs would start happening face-to-face. The Korean War, 1950-1953. When China enters the Korean War, the U.S. seriously considers using nuclear weapons. Bombers are loaded. Targets are mapped. President Truman ultimately pulls back, fearing escalation with the USSR. That fear would define the next 40 years, and it would be tested harder than ever. The Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962, the most famous near-apocalypse in history. The U.S. discovers Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, 90 miles from Florida. For 13 days, the world holds its breath. Nuclear submarines are armed. Bombers are airborne. One Soviet submarine commander, Vasily Arkhipov, refuses to authorize a nuclear torpedo, likely preventing World War III. But while the world remembers Cuba, other near misses stayed classified. The Goldsboro bomb incident, 1961. A U.S. B-52 bomber breaks apart over North Carolina. 2 nuclear bombs fall. One almost detonates. Only one safety switch prevents disaster. The public was never told the full story, and that wouldn't be the last time a mistake almost ended everything. The Sino-Soviet border crisis, 1969. China and the Soviet Union clash along their border. The USSR seriously considers a preemptive nuclear strike on Chinese facilities. China prepares for retaliation. The U.S. quietly monitors, ready to respond. Then came the decade where computers almost ended humanity. False alarms and computer errors, 1970s, 1980s. Multiple incidents occur where early warning systems report incoming nuclear attacks. 1979, a U.S. training tape is mistakenly loaded into a live system. 1983, Soviet officer Stanislav Petrov is warned of incoming American missiles. He chooses to do nothing. He's right. The system was wrong, and just months later, the tension hit its absolute peak. Able Archer, 1983. A NATO training exercise simulates nuclear war. The Soviet Union believes it might be real. They place nuclear forces on high alert. One misread signal, and missiles would have launched. But nuclear danger didn't end with the Cold War. India versus Pakistan, 1999 to present. India and Pakistan, both nuclear-armed, clash repeatedly. 1999 Kargil War. 2001-2002 standoff. 2019 airstrikes. Each time, nuclear weapons are quietly prepared, never used. This remains one of the most volatile nuclear rivalries today. And then, there's the country that made nuclear fear mainstream again. North Korea, 2006 to present. Korea tests nuclear weapons, launches missiles over Japan, threatens the U.S., South Korea, and Guam. Multiple moments bring nuclear forces to heightened alert, especially in 2017. No war erupts, but the risk remains constant. Meanwhile, a quiet nuclear standoff simmers in the Middle East. Israel and the Middle East, ongoing. Israel never officially confirms its nuclear arsenal, but it exists. During the 1973 Yom Kippur War, Israel reportedly prepares nuclear weapons as a last resort. The U.S. intervenes diplomatically to prevent escalation. And now, we reach the most dangerous nuclear era yet. Russia, NATO, and Ukraine, 2022 to present. Russia repeatedly threatens nuclear use during the Ukraine war. NATO increases readiness. U.S. and Russian nuclear forces monitor each other constantly. No nukes are launched, but nuclear threats return to everyday headlines for the first time since the Cold War. So why hasn't nuclear war happened? It's not because systems worked perfectly, but because people hesitated. Officers ignored orders. Leaders chose restraint. Mistakes were questioned. Every nuclear altercation in history shares one truth. Humanity didn't survive because nukes are safe. We survived because someone blinked. And someday, we may not be that lucky. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscription button for more military videos.